This Chicago Bears preview edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is giving away $15 million in Best Ball Mania 5. Sign up with SGPN to claim your first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythms. College football and NFL picks and projections are now live. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Hey everybody, Jim McMahon here, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. Got a lot of people reach out wanting to wish you best recovery, best wishes and recovery on your massive accident that happened over the weekend.
Oh yes, if you watch the the live from Bet Bash, I ate it. Well, it was because Kramer and we had a conversation. He goes, "Hey, this stage, Bet Bash was awesome, great setup. Shout out to Spanky, thanks for having us. Everything was set up very well, but there was you were on a little bit of a stage, and the chair was there. There wasn't a ton of wiggle room, and I was aware of it. I was aware of the of the stage, of the chair, and then I go and I set up the camera to get the recording going, and then I come back, and in that time, I had forgotten about the stage being a little tight there with the chair, and I ate it pretty hard. So, but I survived, Ryan. I survived.
It was a great survival. Good handling of the situation. Apologies if the gremlins are in there with the echo. I don't see any echo in our system. So if it's still there, if someone backstage can give me a thumbs up if they still hear the echo. Oh sweet, they don't hear the echo anymore. All right. Yeah, no. What I would say, not only did we have a conversation about it, Sean, I said that this was a dangerously narrow stage. I mean, honestly, if one of us was running for president, I think people would have assumed this was there'd be conspiracy theories about who authorized the thinness of the stage. Perhaps, I heard.
Or maybe I'm a fake Sean. Maybe the real Sean died at Bet Bash. I know Spanky, when we ran into him in the after party, was very worried. He's like, "Hey, come on, guys, I can't deal with the lawsuit."
Yeah, well, maybe don't. I heard that it was the last minute they swapped in these new stages, Sean.
Conspiracy theories abound. Perfect. Coming off our Pete Carroll, the truther. That we had speculated, Ryan, that maybe the Seattle Seahawks got rid of Pete Carroll in part because he was getting a little too close to the truth.
It's funny. There were this guy on the internet today. I saw just a completely random posting in my conspiracy theory list about a guy who, a Mexican scientist who may have solved the connection between reality and the Matrix world. And then he disappeared after commenting on this. Anyway, he did kind of look like Pete Carroll. And in my head, I made this note of, oh my goodness, could it be that Pete Carroll is some sort of time traveler from a different dimension, here to bring us to Zion and help us free from being batteries to the machine? You guys laugh, but that's what's happening, especially Bears fans. I feel like there'll be a lot of Bears fans that'll be lining up to be batteries for the robots.
Oh, all right, Ryan. Perfect transition. Well, real quick.
Does that mean?
Yeah, that's obviously super insulting. We got 32 words, given one word per team preview. The word for this episode for the Bears preview is January. January is the word. It's a month. It's also this word. Looking right. We'll get into the Bears preview. We will be joined by host of Old Fashioned Football and the CFL Gambling Podcast, Justin Mark, in just a little bit. Before we get to it, though, this guy goes by Olan on Twitter. Something was bugging us. Kept going, guys. You got to let me come on the show. I'm a massive Bears fan.
OJ. I see his initials. Maybe OJ.
Oh, okay. Olan Johnson. Yeah.
We go with OJ.
We'll see if he has 2,000 yard season in him. Joining us on the line, David. What's happening, David?
The Bears. What's up, y'all?
What's up, man?
Man, this is cool as shit, dude. Yeah. Coming off a 6-team preseason parlay cash yesterday, and then get on the air with you guys. Pretty fucking cool.
Well,
Sound rock hard, dude.
Maybe
like
we also nominate you for Real Men and Degens. What was in your 6-team preseason parlay? Hopefully the Bucks money line. Kramer and I were pounding the table. That was a nice plus 215 cash. No big deal. But what'd you have in that parlay?
Bears Bills over. That one was a bit of a sweat until the third quarter when oh my god, that second team offense just blew it up. I had Vikings +3, which is a sweat until JJ McCarthy came out and looks like an actual NFL quarterback. We had Tampa plus the points. We had Tennessee or San Francisco plus the points, and then New Orleans, Arizona under. My brother is a savant when it comes to like scouting players, college and stuff like that. And
oh hell yeah,
he had 6 games he liked, and so
Titty
like bars on the horizon.
Sounds like we need to source our parlay from because I didn't go 6-0 this year.
No, I didn't. This week I didn't. But I can tell you that. I had a couple nice hits. Of course, Steelers did let us down. But enough about the preseason. NFL regular season right around the corner. Your Chicago Bears. Little note: you mentioned the Bears preseason game. The last time the Bears won a preseason game by 20+. Do you know what year it was, David?
I believe it was 2006.
You nailed it. 2006, and the Chicago Bears went to the Super Bowl.
He knows ball.
They started out 7-0, with Devin Hester. I'm sorry if this is a painful memory. It was painful for me. I had Bears +7. I had Bears money line. I am the smartest man in the world when Hester took that one to the house.
Bad memories. Yeah, it was. The fact is, you find out later, Rex Grossman was actually a plant. I am convinced that he was on the payroll for the Indianapolis Colts. But yes, I remember being in a bar, watching the game. Hester takes it back. I'm immediately buying shots for the Bucs. I'm like, fuck yes, we're winning the Super Bowl. And then Peyton and his forehead just showed up. And
yeah,
I mean, dude, Peyton's a GOAT. So, I mean, you can't be mad about that. The fact that we got carried there by a defense, which is something that even doesn't happen in this league anymore. I mean, it was an absolute phenomenal year. Grossman had some ridiculous games, but did what he always does.
No, I mean, to your point, David, I don't know if the NFL supports a team like the Chicago Bears. Like, I don't think we're going to see another Rex Grossman or a Rex Grossman-like quarterback in the Super Bowl anytime soon.
Well, Brock Purdy.
Oh yeah, you're right. Brock Purdy.
Come on, Sean. How'd you miss that one?
Yeah, he the last pick of the draft, Mr. Irrelevant. David, you guys are on the opposite end of the draft, Mr. Relevant, a la Caleb Williams. What is your take on Caleb Williams? I feel like Bears fans have already dubbed him the greatest quarterback in franchise history, which he certainly could be. But the Bears are an interesting team where, they exceeded expectations in the second half of that season. We'll see how much of that is sustainable. Montez Sweat trade for him was huge for you guys, and then. Yeah, the quarterback play, you would imagine Caleb Williams is going to be an upgrade from what we saw last year, but he still is a rookie. And this is a decently high win total for a rookie year. Give us your Bears win-loss projection.
Well, I mean, personally, just because you kind of mentioned briefly, I wish we would have kept Fields, traded the first-round pick for a bunch more, and picked up Joe Alt, Marvin Harrison Jr., and built around him. But you have to understand, Poles wasn't there when Field was drafted. Eberflus wasn't there. It wasn't his quarterback. They're going to start over with their guy. That being said, I do not need Caleb Williams to be Peyton Manning. I do not need him to be Tom Brady. I need him to be decent, and I am fine with that. The ceiling for him. Yes, he could be a generational talent, and people say that, but I will take a decent fucking quarterback so I don't have to look around going, Jay Cutler's my guy, bro.
I mean, it's Jay Cutler or Jim McMahon. Like,
well, you got to give it to Cutler because he married a model, took all of her money, and smoked half a pack of menthols on the sideline every game.
Smoking Jay Cutler was an all-time great.
You joke about him being the best quarterback.
No, I'm not joking.
Noting, DJ Moore had the 4th best receiver season last year with no quarterback, and so the Bears' records are kind of low on the offensive side.
They are. Caleb will be the first 4,000-yard quarterback that we have, and it will be fantastic. And as far as the record, I have the Bears going 12-5. I mean, you look. Well, hold on. Now, look. First of all, I'm not like some delusional fans, Cowboys, who think their team's going to go undefeated every year and not. But if you look at our schedule is soft. It's not a whole. There's 5 tough games, which that's from the losses. Texans, I think, is going to be tough. I don't know if we'll be able to pull that out. Caleb Williams, second game, bright lights in Houston against a proven offense and CJ Stroud, a great defense being run by D'Amico Ryans. I think he'll take him apart as a rookie. I think we lose to the Niners, and then I think we split with Green Bay. I think we split with Detroit. I think we sweep the Vikings.
Wow. I mean, I do like how both acknowledging delusional fans and then making sure that we know that you're not one, and then giving out a 12-5 projection. I like
Easy,
that.
who is a Lions fan.
The chat thinks you're delusional.
He's gonna take umbrage with your 12-5 season, but
I like the optimism.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the passion, and he laid out a good case. If the Bears can continue what they did defensively, now they did lose some production on that defensive line, and what generated a ton of sacks. We'll see if they can kind of continue their turnover streak. Although, a guy like, Fields was turning it over a bunch as well. So a lot to unpack here. 12-5. How far do they go? I assume they're in the playoffs at 12-5. How far do you have them going in the playoffs?
Divisional round, probably. They may be able to squeak into the NFC Championship, but I still think it's a division that's ran by San Francisco. Or not San Francisco, excuse me. Smoking my weed. I think this year it'll actually dude, the Lions are just strong. I mean, like I said, I'm a realist. I'm not going to get here and blow smoke up people's asses. I mean, the Lions are a stacked fucking roster. I mean, they're going to be a tough out. And again, I understand 12-5 is ambiguous, but if Caleb is even a slight upgrade over what Fields was, and you look at what's around him, we've upgraded the O-line, we upgraded the D-line. Yes, it went down a little bit. God, I can't remember his name, but we drafted him. People are comparing him to Max Crosby. We have the Raiders' old D-line coach who made Max Crosby into what he is today. You look at the weapons around him. Do your little, your quadrant breakdown. You're going to end up about 12-5, 11-6.
Yeah,
We've been challenged.
I'm excited to hop on with Justin and go through the schedule, get his take. But David, very strong first appearance on the podcast, and you even managed to trash the Cowboys, which that was good. As a host, I could not ask for more. Where can people check you out on Twitter? What's your toss out your handle there?
On Twitter, it's spelled kind of weird, but it's at it's ITZ _ all ALL _ taken at it's all taken. You can also find me in the Patreon, Olan Johnson, and then I am in the Real Men of DGen Tattoo Fantasy League. We need 4 more people. Come on, y'all. $300 buy-in. And I am the one who suggested the Let It Ride tramp stamp for the loser. I think it's a genius idea. Just saying.
Awesome.
This was all a marketing ploy for the tattoo league.
Yeah, maybe the commissioner just got him on. So yes, I tweeted out a video. So there are 4 more spots for the tattoo league. Get in over there. Appreciate it. Thanks for listening. Let it ride. We're going to talk some more Bear ears. And of course, Ryan, underdogfantasy.com. If you're optimistic, like Ola or David, I was going by his X handle there for a second. Underdogfantasy.com, promo code SGPN. You got not only the NFL preseason pick 'em higher lower, you got the NFL season long. You have Counter-Strike Go if you're a maniac. There is just so much to get down on. Even week 1, higher lower pick 'em. Kramer, what do you think? Caleb Williams, higher lower, passing touchdowns, 23.5. What are you doing there?
Yeah, I mean it's certainly a low number if he's going to be as good as he looked in that first preseason.
Well, and I almost like I do like the passing touchdowns if you're high on Caleb Williams, but the passing yards of 3,600.5. That to me feels reasonable, higher. I don't know if he quite gets the 4,000, like David suggested, but either way, plenty of time, plenty of action to get down on some Bears players or fade them if you're like some of the chat. Underdogfantasy.com, promo code SGPN. And of course, we're also brought to you by Circa Sports. We're going to be Ryan. We just got back from Las Vegas. We already got, there's nothing like getting back from Las Vegas and then having emails about your upcoming trip to Las Vegas. We're Circa Sports, of course, giving away 16 million in guaranteed prizes, zero rake. Derek gets no money. He loses money, printing out the big checks, getting the awesome jackets. Ryan, we were there at some of the awards dinners, the Bet Bash. There were guys walking around with the millions jackets.
It's pretty sharp.
And of course, obviously the 10 million guaranteed for the Survivor, 6 million guaranteed for the millions. Not too shabby as well. Again, the contests are so much fun. Great thing to do with a bunch of your buddies, or just do it alone, lone wolf style, and save all the money for yourself.
So many things can fall under that classification,
especially in Vegas. Enter Nevada, play from anywhere. Go to proxy.footballcontest.com as well. Use our promo code SGP. You met Vegas Maddie. If you listen to the Raiders preview, he gets you $50 off your team preview just for being an SGP listener. And contest weekend, super fun open bar events. Promo code SGP15, August 22nd through the 24th. Come out, say hi. It's gonna be Kramer's birthday. We're gonna get him a big cake. Gonna play pin the tail on the Daniel Jones. It's gonna be a great time. Circusports.com.
Oh, you found a guy who looks like Daniel Jones with a beard. Badass Daniel Jones.
Joining us on the line to talk more Chicago Bears. You know him as as one half of the Old Fashioned Football Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Bourbon, football, they got it all. JMark, salute. Thanks for calling in, man. How you doing?
Cheers, doing good. I'm sweating out a CFL DFS right now, sitting at third place, and
wow.
need Javon Leak to get another touchdown.
Wait, say that name again.
Javon Leak.
Okay, right. Javon Leak.
I'm going Javon Leak on you. All right, so yeah, Sean, I also I know you brought JMark on. He's sweating out this sick CFL lineup, but we did have a. We had a super chat, little shout out to more Canadian love, Mr. Robert Martin, which by the way will not show your comment during football season if you don't have a sick avatar. So shout out for the sick avatar and the Canadian money. Appreciate we love Canadian dollars more than US dollars sometimes. Shout out Israel Adonijah, Manitoba product, played for the Bears. Love Canadians. Unlike some people on this show, I love Canadians. Really proud to watch Canada win all these gold medals in the Olympics.
Salute to the entire nation of Canada. That was in my mentions when you guys got your 7th gold medal. I liked my underplay, but Summer McIntosh, shout out to her, just dominating performance, won a ton of gold for Canada. So yes, I have to.
Did they get an A?
Props. No, I don't think so.
Here's what's crazy is the Canadian 4x100 team. I watched that event in the Circa Sportsbook.
Oh no, sorry, Ryan. They closed with 9. Okay, I missed those last couple.
But the Canadian 4x1, the team, the gold that did it, they tripped and fell in the qualifier and almost didn't qualify. Like they were. It was. I mean the. Unbelievable efforts to overcome your words on national television. Anyway,
really trying to stick it to me.
Love
going
Canada
above and beyond. All right, real quick recap on the 2023 Chicago Bears. Their win total was set at 7.5. They almost went over. Came in at 7-10. Kramer and I both had the under there for the Chicago Bears, and again, it was a sweat there late because. They had an interesting season, starting out slow, getting hot late. Brings our win total record from last year. I'm at 14-5. Kramer's at 13-6.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty damn good. Turnover margin, they were +3. DVOA ranked defensively 17th, offensively 22nd. What was your overall take, JMark, on the 2023 Chicago Bears?
Yeah, I mean, I think they had a lot of struggles early on. We saw that. I think after the Montez Sweat trade, it was about 2 weeks after that, you saw the defense really start gelling together well. And it's because we didn't really have an edge rusher that could get to the quarterback until he came and made that O-line work a little bit better. much like Olan said, I'm a Fields fan. I kind of wanted them to go the route of keeping him. I thought he progressed. He did what they asked him to do. He got better each season. And he just, when he takes off, he has elite athleticism. I know that's not all you want in a quarterback. You want him to get those deep balls and stuff. But aside from DJ Moore, he didn't have a ton to work with, honestly. But, I thought they did well. I thought they improved. What makes me nervous about taking a quarterback number 1 overall is if they don't do well this year, Flus is gone and it's a brand new coaching staff. And now you're starting over with another rookie. That kind of bothers me. But yeah, last year was a disappointment as usual.
Yeah, I wonder though. It does seem like the end of last year was certainly. I mean, Fields did enough to.
They were
to at least
chanting They were chanting his name in the stadium, and that was when they were realizing they had a chance to get Caleb Williams. I imagine they shopped around. I'm certain there were teams that were willing to trade up to get Caleb Williams. Probably could have got yourself a pretty big haul, like David said. Maybe you get your Joe Alts. You get an edge rusher, you get some even picks for down the line. If you got Joe Alt, Marvin Harrison Jr. and like a decent pick, that's an interesting conversation. Fields did not look good in his first preseason game with the Steelers with the turnovers, the fumbling. It was a bit sloppy and it's preseason, but what did you make of Caleb Williams making his debut again preseason? But I think you at least saw a couple high level throws like that. Essentially, whatever that screenplay was, the DeAndre Swift, almost a no look pass there. Someone who can make a throw, an accurate throw, 15 plus yards down the field while running, like that boot action that he threw down the field there, I thought was very promising.
You have to see and honestly, in some regards, seeing them do it running like with their body, like not the weird across their body, but like when they're running the natural direction that the offense is going to send them more often than not, and they can hit that throw, because bad quarterbacks, that ball's out of bounds 8 times out of 10, and good quarterbacks, it's also intercepted because you're trying to get it. The great quarterbacks, it's out of bounds just enough for the receiver to catch it every time. And specifically with that throw with Caleb, it's like it's why he has a high floor. It's why he only can suck so much, because he has an NFL arm.
Yeah. And
like
an
you think
NFL
about it,
arm.
JaMarcus Russell being the absolute floor of having an NFL arm and not being able to play football. You think about even like early Michael Vick, who was not put into the greatest situation and wasn't the best player right away. He had an arm and he could run around. It's like, all right, that works. Yeah. And you have talent that the Bears have. Like, honestly, Sean, not as low on the Bears as I thought I was going to be before I dug in a little bit. But to the one thing I will point out, and I'm not hearing a lot of people saying it. It's not just you have a new quarterback who's new to the league. You also have a new coordinator. And I also think like probably worth bringing up the players in and out, because
let's take a look at those.
Because this is a brand new fucking team. There are a lot of new pieces here, and I think honestly I feel like the narrative around the coordinator and the offense in general, like you think about what happened, Matt Eberflus like set this up, brought the coordinator situation. And I'm trying to slop into getting it to the coaches he had to fire last year. He had to fire 2 coaches last year for interesting reasons.
We still don't know what now. Human resources was involved with the running backs coach, and then what was the other coach?
Well, the early season one was the far more shadier, where he goes, I quote, "I am taking a step back to take care of my health and my family," Alan Williams said in a statement. Now the Bears put out no post wishing him well. Nothing. Then you also have Bears have to fire David Walker over workplace behavior. Now the Bears did confirm that both incidents, while unrelated, were both involving human resources.
He's like addicted to computer porn and he's seeking health. What?
No, but it gives you the belief that
there's some weird stuff.
This is a family-run organization with a relatively new turned over GM that is cleaning things up, but there's still rot in the building. I can relate seeing what Joe Shane's having to do, like plucking these fucking family member weeds out and throwing them to the side. So I do think there's a little instability in terms of the building and the team. And I think bringing in a completely new offense, new coordinator, new pieces everywhere. Like there's a lot of things that have to get into sync for this to all work, including the offensive line. I get it. There was optimism at the end of the last year, but you had a very different situation on offense and quarterback last year. So there's a couple teams this year that are being given this optimistic leap of faith everywhere in the marketplace.
Well,
the Bears are one of them.
JMark, were you happy that the Bears ended up keeping Eberflus? Because it's one of those things where, he was 10-24 and he was 3-14 his first year and then 7-10 the next year. It did seem like he was getting the team to kind of gel, but then they got rid of Getsy. They brought in a new offensive coordinator. Eberflus, like he, the expectations are really high. It feels like he's going to be on a pretty short
Shane
leash.
Waldron. Like, were we excited about what Shane Waldron's accomplished? This is the part I don't get with this part of the equation.
Yeah. JMark, how say you on Eberflus and the coaches?
Yeah, no, I was actually glad they did keep him. I think just his defensive mind alone. I mean, he's a great D guy. And as a Bears fan, I'd rather have a better defense than a good offense. I want an offense that can put some points up and keep up, but I want the defense to thrive. That's what I'm used to watching as a Bears fan. Anyways, I was until the past several years here. The Shane Waldron thing, it's interesting. I mean, he's done an all right job coming from Seattle there. I thought he did a good job getting the most out of, I mean, they have good talent at some spots, DK Metcalf. But I think some of the talent there's a little mediocre and he got more out of it. And so I don't mind that. I think finding the right guy that is excited to work with Caleb was a priority. I think something about Cliff Kingsbury rubbed him off the wrong way. And I don't hate the move for Shane Waldron. I'm very glad though that they kept Flus. I think the players love that guy. The players love him and they want to play hard for him. And I think that goes a long way.
Yeah. And I guess I would say an argument for Matt Eberflus. They started out 2-7. Defense looked like a complete dumpster fire. It would have been very easy to lose the team at that point. And then, they ended up closing 5-3 with, less than stellar.
Yeah, you nailed it. Some guys are great at that. They're great at repair. Like, we're in a bad situation. Let's make the most of it.
Yeah.
That's not the same coaching scenario as we have all the great pieces. Now let's go win a championship.
Is Matt Eberflus and their OC, is this the best scenario to maximize Caleb Williams? And I know, JMark, yes. Your idea was like, hey, stick with Fields. We were building on something, put a ton of guys around him, and they still were able to get Roma Dunze. Obviously, that was a big great pickup for them. And they drafted a punter, which I always hate. But they did bring in a bunch of new offensive linemen. They brought in Keenan Allen, Gerald Everett. What do you make of the roster overturn? And they did lose some guys.
They lost Robert Tonyan and Mercedes Lewis.
Yeah.
Who
not really a loss. Sean,
then they got Mercedes Lewis back.
Sean, I need you to kind of watch what you say about the punt god, Torrey Taylor, who played for the Iowa Hawkeyes and was their most dangerous weapon. So come on, be easy now. No, I felt
Mercedes Lewis did re-sign with them. Just a reminder. Well, he departed and then he was re-added.
I will say, maybe the work had already been done by Cody. Could have been a time lapse situation.
But so where are you at big picture roster, JMark?
Yeah, so I mean, I didn't like losing Eddie Jackson. I thought he had played pretty decent. But then he goes to the free agency and it took him a long time to get picked up. So maybe there's something that I wasn't seeing there. And he was kind of getting banged up here and there more often. As far as who they brought in, I mean, DeAndre Swift, I think, is going to fit this offense well. He's going to be able to do what they want him to do. I love getting Keenan Allen. I don't care that he's old. He's still a beast. He's still he's hard to cover. Roma Dunze, I love the player. I love Roma Dunze, but gosh, I think we should have addressed the O-line there. I really think an O-line, offensive lineman, tackle, guard, whatever, would have been better. I mean, I know PFF grades aren't everything, but if you look at our graded linemen, it doesn't look good, and it worries me about Caleb Williams. But to your question earlier about Caleb in his first preseason game, we always have Colby Dant on Old Fashioned Football, and to talk about these guys before the draft. And he pointed out, Caleb Williams, maybe he needs some work against this defense or that defense. Maybe he needs work here or there, but it's all things coaches can fix. What you can't teach is composure. And he is a super composed guy, even under pressure. And you talk about that little no-look pass. I know it's preseason, but that's composure. He's so composed that I think his floor will be pretty high. His ceiling could be through the roof for the Bears.
He's also a cool motherfucker. You can tell that. Like, you can tell by the way that other people approach how other people approach Caleb Williams tells you he's cool as shit.
He does seem to have the respect of the locker room, and I think
doesn't strike me as a young guy.
No, and we'll see. Again, he will still be a rookie. There'll be some moments. I think probably what his issues will be, if I had to guess, the rookie year is maybe, guys like Caleb Williams, true playmakers, they're usually guilty of holding on to the ball too long, like waiting because they can improvise, which is like a great addition. Sometimes it can be a crutch and they hold on too long. There'll be some like strip sacks and you're like, God, get rid of the ball. I think it will, adjusting to the timing of the NFL game. But
they had Justin Fields. They had the guy who was the worst ever at that.
He keeps his eyes downfield. Like, that is something I look at when watching these quarterbacks, because you can see it, like guys who are overwhelmed in the pocket. You can see their eye level drop and they're worried about who's right around them instead of seeing down the field and seeing the field well. So it's again, we've watched one preseason game of him, but he at least passes the Bryce Young test in my mind, where Bryce Young immediately I was like, holy shit, this guy's not an NFL quarterback.
They said that Bryce Young was going to use his legs like Caleb Williams can. And Caleb Williams is, I would say that he's very fast when he wants to. I mean, was still reading downfield.
Well, it's interesting too, because Carolina's a good example. Cleve TA had this stat in his guide. Carolina, obviously massive disappointment when it came to the high expectations of the win total. And the quarterback there. But if you look at the other ones, quarterbacks with high win totals, they've actually exceeded expectations. The 2009 Jets, 2012 Redskins, obviously Stroud and the Texans. I don't think he had high expectations, but then you look at like a guy like Andrew Luck. So they are the positive scenarios. And then of course, a rookie quarterback drafted in the top 10 starting at least 10 games. It's only 11-15 and 3 to the over, but like I highlighted, those like guys who come in with the market is expecting something high of them. It seems like historically it's been a decent spot. I think the new head coach aspect didn't help Carolina, and then obviously Bryce Young just sucking and not looking.
Well, that's the unique thing about. The unique thing about Caleb,
I think JMark nailed it too with the offensive line. PFF has the grade their entire line. They got them right dead middle at 16th, which obviously they could go up or could go down, pretty easily on that. So
high floor, low ceiling to me.
With the offensive line. Well,
no, the entire projection of this team. It seems very unlikely that they're going to be a trash team. Like, that's one thing where I think most people in the chat were expecting me to come shit on the Bears. I think most of me shitting on the Bears recently is that Justin Fields was not a great quarterback. When I looked at this team, it's hard to. The offensive line would have to implode. Yeah, and the offense would just not work.
Well, and there's it's weird. So like,
I like all their receivers too. It's like, Jesus Christ, and even Cole Kmet's still there.
Yeah, I they have a ton of great pass catchers, and so like you look at what they did in the second half of that season, and you go, hey, is that sustainable? They tied for the league high with 22 interceptions on the season, ranked second in turnovers in the last 8 weeks with 20. So they were getting some good turnover luck. But if Caleb Williams can be a little more careful than Justin Fields, and then
you almost have to throw out the turnover luck, knowing that Justin Fields was responsible for a lot of those turnovers.
Well, no, that was turnovers forced. Like they were lucky in recovering something.
I thought you were talking about a team effect.
No, the differential kind of balances out. They were only +3, so it wasn't crazy. And this is actually in your favor. In the NFL last season, teams went 182-9 when holding an 80% plus win probability in the fourth quarter. The Bears were 0-3 in that spot. So with that, the stat was 182-9, and 9 of those losses were the Bears. I some of that's luck, some of that's whatever. Sometimes that is coaching. A lot of times it ends up being quarterback play. So if you can get a little bit more fortunate with some of that stuff, Caleb Williams improves the quarterback play, and the defense not falling off the cliff to me is the big thing.
I have a question real quick. At this point in Sam Darnold's career, do you think Jets fans were still thinking they were going to have a guy for the next decade? One preseason game in, couple drives. Sam Darnold's our guy. I'm trying to pour some water.
Sam Darnold?
I'm saying the Jets in his career, because now he sucks, and it's fun to be optimistic about a quarterback. But I don't
think Jets fans have been optimistic in a long time.
You don't think they were excited when they had Sam Darnold when they drafted him?
Maybe
into this point in training
the
camp?
Jets fans are pretty cynical.
I just think that I've never seen a more gracious leap of faith than every NFL pundit, just because like, I get it. You want to make sure you get out ahead of the progressive train and support Caleb Williams. I like Caleb Williams. I think he's going to be good, but there's so many question marks here. I thought I was going to be super low on this team, Sean. I'm not going to be super low on them, but I'm also, like I was saying earlier, I think they have a high floor and a low ceiling. I don't think this team has. I think the coaching is going to, at the end of the, like, they don't have a chance to win their division in my eyes, but I do think Caleb Williams being in the playoffs the first weekend is in the range of outcomes.
Let's get to the schedule. Let's get into it. Oh, and of course the odds, Bears win total set at 8.5, make playoffs -106, miss playoffs -115, division only 3-1, conference 14-1, Super Bowl 35-1.
Their win total does not match their futures, in my opinion.
What do you mean? Which ones are the most?
I just don't. An 8.5 win team also shouldn't be 3-1 to win a division that has one of the conference favorites.
Yeah, I mean both the Packers and the Lions got far in the playoffs.
I also don't think. I mean, basically everything after that too seems egregiously priced.
Well, I think in their minds, in the odds makers' minds, maybe it's like, well, there's probably a lot of Bears fans in Illinois betting on the Bears. They have to, be a little careful that they don't go completely bankrupt if Caleb Williams truly is the chosen one. Maybe they're hedging themselves a little bit.
But yeah, it's also implied. Like what we're describing is actually seen in the spread. 8.5 win total. Yet the Bears are favored in 10. So, all right, let's go through the schedule. I'm hoping for a very optimistic take for JMark, maybe to help me form an opinion here. And again, we've been talking about this opening game all season, but Sean, just in general, I think another reason to be high on them is they're very easy schedule this year, projected, and they do lose a home game though. So somehow they got swindled going across the pond to play the Jags. So. That's a tricky one, but they are still favored 10 times. So very, very optimistic for Caleb Williams, starting with the game against our Tennessee Titans, which, by the way, did you watch Will Levis?
He's locked in, Ryan.
Anyway, Caleb starts his career laying 4.5. Good luck. And then at Houston, at Indy, and then back at home against the Rams. I feel like it's rare for us to do a team where they start with a 2-2 split when it comes to home and road. The Texans game is on Sunday Night Football, so we're gonna settle that debate of which best quarterback this year, best quarterback last year. Oof. I mean, again, I do think the Bears could come out and defeat the Titans, but I'm not going to give them that win because I'm very much going to be on the Titans money line for that one. But that being said, the rest of the games are tricky then. Because you have a road game against a good defense in the Texans. Forget about the offense. You have a road game against a good defense in the Indianapolis Colts, and then the Rams maybe is the winnable game because I don't think that defense is going to be scary. And maybe if you get in a shootout, that's a winnable game against Matt Stafford.
It's a tough first four.
You saw that Caleb Williams listed Matt Stafford I think it was Caleb Williams. Maybe it was Jaden Daniels as his top quarterbacks in the NFL.
Kramer, what do you have him going?
Like let JMark go first.
Okay.
I don't want to say 1 and 3.
Ryan's scared to give
I
out
think
a
I'm going to say
prediction.
1 and 3.
JMark, what do you got?
Yeah, hopefully you're not expecting me to be optimistic as 12 and 5. I think we start 1 and 3 as well. I have us winning against the Titans, opening up with a win, and then losing 3 straight. The Rams have beat us 3 in a row. I know Donald's not there anymore, but we just don't match up well against them, it seems. And the Texans and Colts games, I think those are teams that they're young, but they're more in place than the Bears are right now. I have us just starting a little bit slow as everything kind of comes together and starting 1 and 3.
Yeah, I think 1 and 3, especially back-to-back non-conference road games. Those are the toughest games in the NFL. Caleb Williams, Sunday Night Football. I mean, even David said that he'd like to beat Go Ryans. Even David, who has him going 12 and 5, thinks that's a tough game. I think 1 and 3 makes a ton of sense. And if you're worried, like, oh man, there are, looking ahead to the schedule, there are plenty of opportunities for them to get right later on. So I'll go 1 and 3 as well. So everyone 1 and 3. Well, Ryan didn't officially give out his play.
I think I'll go 1 and 3. No, and I think I was just thinking about it because you're gonna have Caleb Williams against like 3 straight interesting defenses. The Titans, of course, their defensive coordinator came over from Baltimore, and so I would expect there to be some difficult. I don't know. Maybe I say no. I'm not going to say 2 and 2. 1 and 3.
1 and 3.
All right, then we have a Panthers at home. I mean, just insult to injury. Imagine the owner after he gets beat by this team too that stole all his draft picks.
They took Caleb Williams.
Then they and JMark. We will need advanced intel on when the Bears plan on traveling over to London for their Week 6 game against the Jags, where they of course lose a home game. Also a tough spot having to play the London Jags in London. Then a bye week. So I think it's become plus EV to take the bye again after your long road trip. And then right into a back-to-back road spot at Commanders, at Cardinals, but both winnable games where they're favored on the road. That's the part that stood out to me is how many times they are a shorter than 3-point road dog or a favorite. A lot of respect. Okay. So, some marquee stuff here. Bryce Young versus Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams wins. Caleb Williams in London. What do you think? We're definitely going to see a fashion show situation
I just think,
with Caleb Williams over there.
Yeah, I think a rookie quarterback in international waters is tough.
And then him versus Jaden Daniels. I kind of like that as a game that, I mean, Jaden Daniels is going to be live in that one, wanting to show everyone he was supposed to be the guy. And then Kyler, here we are again. Do I say 1 and 3?
You could.
1 and 3.
I'm going 2 and 2. I think I really like them to get the Panthers game. And then I think between the Jags game, at Commanders, at Cardinals, they win another one of those. I mean, I don't see them losing back-to-back games, or I don't see them losing to all 3 of those games. So 2 and 2, I think, is a safe projection for me. JMark, see you nodding your head there. What do you got? What do you got the Bears going here?
I got 3 and 1. I got them beating the Panthers, losing to the Jaguars. The Commanders, we seem to beat them in Washington, while they always beat us in Chicago recently. And then the Cardinals, I think we win that game. We won it in December. I think it was just last year with Kyler, and we beat them 27-16. I know it's November, a little hotter than December, but it shouldn't be too crazy there. So I like us going 3 and 1 here.
Whoa,
3 and 1. All right. I mean, I can see it. I think 2 and 2 is like me kind of playing it a little safe. Again, back-to-back road spots in the NFL are tough. And they got a couple of them, including a 3-game one.
Oh yeah.
Up,
well,
so.
that's So I'm 2 and 6.
Okay.
Week 10, they got the Patriots at home. Easy win. Then the Packers at home. It's got to feel good to feel like you got a chance this year. And Jordan Love is somehow the highest paid quarterback in the league. And then the Vikings at home, and then at Lions on Thanksgiving. So we have 3 straight home games, 3 straight division games. Interesting stretch of the schedule. I think I'm gonna continue to split the division games here. For certainly the Bears are going to get the home ones. So I think that means I go 3 and 1 here.
3 and 1, Ryan. Okay. I
see what I'm doing here.
I kind of like 3-1 as well. I don't know if they win Packers, Vikings, and like Packers, Vikings, and Lions. That's 3 division games in a row. But I do think they have a good shot to go 2-1. I do like them at home against the Patriots. Maybe getting some momentum here, second half of the season. So I got them first 12 games 6-6. That sounds about right.
Wow.
JMark, what are you doing here? You got them 4-4 going into this quadrant.
Yeah, so we take the Patriots down. Sorry to Cody Z with the NASCAR gambling podcast. We have to beat Green Bay one of these years, right? I mean, it's been 10 games in a row. I think we split the series with them, so I'm going to give us the home game, beat the Vikings at home, and then lose to the Lions. So 3-1 again.
3-1. All right, so you're 7-5. So slightly optimistic, but not. Unless you have them winning the last 5 games, you're going to need some help to beat David.
Well, yeah, the schedule AI glitched here because with 3 home games and 3 road games, we could have found a better path. After Thanksgiving, we go at Niners, at Vikings on Monday night, Lions at home, Seahawks at home on Thursday night, at Packers. Oof. So I said I was going to chop the division game. So that's 3 losses right there. Can they beat the Lions? Do I dare? Should I chop that one? Probably, right?
Oh, I think they can beat the Lions at home.
So 2
in outdoors in Chicago in December. I just think that that 3 road game stretch is gonna be brutal. I mean, the games. Now maybe you surprise San Francisco coming off the long rest, but no one wins that 3rd road game. And even if you're like Ryan and just concede actual handicapping and just always split the divisions,
that is handicapping. That's how I handicapped it.
Yeah, I know, but you get every team. Well, I'm splitting the division. I'll be splitting this division.
No, I didn't do it with the South. The Panthers got swept.
Okay. Yeah, I like him at home against the Lions, even on a short week against Seattle. I think that's a good matchup for him. I don't know about Lambeau last week of the season. I'll go 2-3, clocking them in at 8-9 for me.
Oh, fairly optimistic, huh?
What do you mean?
8-9.
How so?
Almost got him over the win total.
Well, I thought they were good. I thought I was going to be on the over, honestly. Before I looked at the schedule, it's just they have these 3 pockets of back-to-back road games early, and then that middle, and then that final 3 games.
Their schedule is one where bullshit. This is the 2nd or 3rd easiest schedule.
Yeah,
in the league.
I know it's like, and maybe by win total and the fact that they're favored, people might say their schedule is quote unquote easy, but like when you actually walk through it, situationally, they kind of are. But then they have the outlaw, like the Panthers and Patriots. You get them both at home, so that's probably making the schedule look easier. When honestly, you almost want those road games because I think you would have had a shot to steal some of those. JMark,
and you have back-to-back week 2, week 3, week 8, week 9, and then 12 or 13, 14, 15.
Every road game they play is part of a back-to-back situation, except for the last game.
Yeah.
What did you do to the commissioner, JMark? What did Bears fans do? Because he is spiteful with these schedules. You must have done something to anger him. You got him 7-5. How do you have them closing out the season?
So this is where it gets really tricky. I do think we lose to the Niners. I think we sweep the Vikings. So I like them winning that game, winning against the Lions. Seahawks is it's just a weird team to play for them, but I do think we win that. And then we finish with a loss at Green Bay. Just given Chicago's history, especially with Green Bay, we'll probably be right on the playoff cusp going into week 18, and they'll beat us and knock us out of the playoffs.
Oh, no.
That just seems like how it seems to go.
Oh no, poor JMark. He's just so defeated. Like, they're probably gonna beat us, and then All right, so officially, what are you going last 5?
Let's go 3-2.
3-2. So JMark has him 10-7. I'm 8-9. Kramer 7-10. We'll talk our favorite bets for these scenarios. Before we do that, shout out to Rhythm. Rhythm is your home for AI picks, props. They got it all. They got their NFL projections, their college football projections up and ready to go here. I'll even pull up the app now, see what's see what's been firing over on the old rhythm. It's just so awesome to see college football, NFL projections in here, ready to go. I'm looking at the top 5 predictions for the NFL. And again, you can come up with your own model or you can just use theirs. Super fun. Ravens Chiefs. Ryan, who do you think they have winning?
Ravens.
Incorrect. They have the Chiefs winning 23.1 to 22.7. Now, that's their AI machine hard at work. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm, RITHMM, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm to get your free 7-day trial.
I guess the AI is not a contrarian player.
What do you mean?
I think Chiefs.
Oh, I think a lot of people are actually on the Ravens, right?
Yeah, they just won the Super Bowl. Everyone will be betting on the Chiefs, don't you know?
No, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's how it works. The Chiefs are the only Taylor Swifts, all the Swifties will be betting on the Chiefs. Come on. You know ball.
Okay, I do. But I just think everyone's going to be on the Ravens.
So can I say that I think this is the range of outcomes for the Bears?
Okay.
7 wins to 10 wins. Maybe 6.
Okay.
I felt like I was going to be, so as I was looking at last year, this year, I was digging into the Caleb Williams stuff. It was like, well, damn it, this team's like, there's not a good chance this team's bad. Then I was just shocked at the schedule. I thought we were going to be walking into some sort of powder puff situation based on the way that I hear other people talk about it. And I see a number of spots that could trip up a team with a new offensive coordinator and a rookie quarterback. So I guess I'm on the under.
Okay. Yeah, because you were 7 and 10, so I'm putting you on the under.
No, but like this is a strong. I feel like this is maybe the best way to play it.
Is play what?
Under versus miss playoffs.
Okay.
Just like they're relatively similarly priced.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I actually kind of like miss playoffs better than the under 8.5 wins, just because of how competitive their division is and how how much I think situationally I'd rather go miss playoffs than the under 8.5 wins, but it is pretty close. JMark, so I got you over 8.5 wins. What are some other Bears future bets you find intriguing?
Yeah. So, and I saw some people talking about this in the chat, but you can bet a team against like how the series will go against their rivals or whatever. And Bears Packers series tied 1-1. Each win a game is plus 110 on DraftKings. Ooh. I just think this team is so tired of losing to the Packers. And sometimes that seems like the problem. They put so much pressure on, we always lose to these guys. We got to win. But I do think it's a new era in Chicago. I think it's going to start. I mean, you hear the talking heads like this team could win the Super Bowl this year. I don't think that is even close to being true. I do think it'll be better, though. It'll be a better year. At the very least, it's different. So I think we split 1-1, and that's plus 110. I like that a lot.
Now, JMark, though, as a Bears fan, what do you do if the Bears win the first game? Do you just say you rip up that ticket? You never want it again?
No.
Would you actually be rooting?
No, he said no.
How much money would you need? So let's. This is a great hypothetical, JMark. You win the first one. At what amount of money are you actually rooting for Green Bay? Do you have a number in your mind where you're like, all right, if it got up to like, $2,000, maybe I'll root for the Packers. Is there a number you could be bought for? Because everyone's got a price.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. Money's tight right now, so I'll just take $1,000. I'm not greedy.
Okay, all right. So maybe you hedge out. All right, I like where your head's at. What are some other bets you like here, JMark?
This one, I think the price feels off. It seems like a no-brainer to me, but the exact order for the division: Lions, Packers, Bears, Vikings. It's 6-1. If you think the Bears could slip into the second and have it be Lions, Bears, Packers, Vikings, that's 6.5-1. But I like the exact order: Lions, Packers, Bears, Vikings. I think that's exactly how it'll go. And plus 600 seems like good money for that.
I mean, I don't mind that. That is, I think, the order that I'm going to end possibly have him in.
Yeah, I think to me,
it's that Bears Packers situation because Jordan.
No,
we haven't done the Packers preview yet.
Packers
we do that later
is
tonight.
up next. So stay tuned if you're subscribed live on YouTube. It's interesting. To the division order, I do think it's going to be competitive. I guess I would worry. I mean, I'm with you on the Vikings being last place. To me, that's what I kind of feel the most strongly about. So once they list the Vikings fourth place, and I'm sure that's, you're not getting a great price, but that's certainly something I'm going to be firing on. Anything else jumping at you here, JMark?
I got an underdog one.
Okay.
Cole Kmet higher than 3.5 receiving touchdowns. It seems like I know they brought in a lot of weapons. I completely get that. And Cole Kmet in the fantasy football community anyway seems to get shat on all the time, even though I mean he's finished as a top 10 tight end 2 years in a row. He's had 6 and 7 receiving touchdowns the past 2 years from Justin Fields, who, I mean, Caleb Williams should be a much better passer. I know they have more weapons. I get that, but they should be passing the ball more and have more opportunities to score. So higher than 3.5 just makes a lot of sense to me.
Love it. So you like higher 3.5 receiving touchdowns. You like the exact division outcome: Lions, Packers, Bears, Vikings 6-1. Green Bay and the Bears a split at +110. Over 8.5 wins. Do you have a miss playoffs?
They took it down. DraftKings took it down, but they did have a stage of elimination. And Bears to lose in the wild card was +175, I think. Maybe it was +210. I'm having trouble remembering now because they did take it down. But I like that because I think they will be competitive. And I think if they sneak into the playoffs, they're a young team. I don't think they're getting past that wild card round.
Don't root for that, JMark, because don't bet that. DraftKings knows your account. They took that away from you because you don't want the Bears finally get into the playoffs with a new #1 quarterback, and then you got +210 for them to lose. You don't want to be in that hell, JMark. Don't do that to yourself.
Sean, underdog.
Yes,
there's a mistake on underdog.
Really? What is it?
DJ Moore 950.5.
Oh man,
higher.
Okay.
This is one of the more both donkey and automatic plays you can make. let's remember DJ Moore. It's Dominic the donkey. Last year with Justin Fields, he had 1,364 yards. I get it. There wasn't a lot of competition. So you bring in Keenan Allen, you bring in Roma Dunze. Well, let's go back to some of those years in Carolina with dog shit.
Oh, I mean, he's succeeded in every quarterback situation.
1175. 1193, 1157. He actually went under 888 2022. Remember the Matt Rule year? Can you tell me who the offensive coordinator was for the 2022 Carolina Panthers when DJ Moore went under this total for his only time as a pro starting every game? Ben McAdoodle, the same man who benched Eli Manning for Geno Smith. Doesn't know what he's doing. But yeah, no, 1364 last year. So what? He has to regress 400 yards for us to get shat on this bet. To me, he's been so quarterback proof that tells me he's going to get there. And I would certainly you're betting on him to have the most yards on the team. Certainly you're betting on him to have, I would imagine, the higher ADOT stuff. So maybe he doesn't match Keenan Allen's target share, but even that isn't a bad bet. So I think he just continues on, more receivers around him probably helps him more than anything. And maybe he doesn't see his 96 catches, but he probably gets over if he only gets to 80 catches. So
what is some other, so I get you under 8.5 wins, Ryan, the higher on DJ Moore receiving yards. What else is jumping out at you?
I did look at the last winless team market.
That schedule's tough.
Well, I just wanted to double check after the situation when we found the Falcons to have the fewest or most losses market, and we were completely shocked. I should have dove deeper, so I dove in here and I was like, "Oh, really? Bears 45-1." Josh, if you could pull the schedule up one more time, because you gotta look at this, Sean. This is crazy. Okay, the Panthers stand out, right?
Yeah, that's where you lose,
but if something horrible happens and they lose that game, the rest of these games are very losable. That's getting out to week 7. So at 45 to 1,
you're not getting past the Patriots.
No.
Okay.
No, but I think getting to week 7 puts you very live. I don't think too many teams are going to start 0-6, 0-7. So you sprinkle the Bears last winless team. Just because I know the chat likes it when I'm mean about the Bears.
I'll go.
Do you have anything? Because I didn't have a ton of stuff. What I was actually going to point out is for a team that's receiving a ton of buzz, there is insane amount of like just nothing in the awards market. It's like, do you really want to sprinkle the coach at 9-1? Do you really want to take Caleb Williams at +140 in the rookie market? Like,
yeah, I think he's gonna do well, but again, like, where are you finding the value in this stuff? To me, I do like. I will steal / cosign JMark's Cole Kmet higher 3.5 receiving touchdowns.
Feels
Always
like
a Cole Kmet guy. I'll go miss playoffs instead of the under 8.5 wins. I got him right there in that range. This market isn't out yet, but I will give it out as a play because when it pops, I'm going to fire. Keenan Allen most receptions in the NFC North is something I'm going to fire on. I think DJ Moore being the yards guy, but I think they're going to scheme up a ton of very catchable, easy stuff for Keenan Allen, a guy who, I mean, sure, he's getting up there in age, but it's not broke, don't fix it. Coming off 108 catch season last year, where he only played 13 games. If this guy could, 13. If he could get to a full 17 games, man, I don't know what his catch total could be. And the only one, maybe Justin Jefferson, but Jefferson again is more like a yardage guy. I think there's just in this offense. I see JMark nodding his head. You think I'm on to something here with like a bunch of easy catches for Keenan Allen?
Yeah, I like that. I like it a lot. If you think back to when Tyler Lockett played in the slot in Shane Waldron's, they moved him outside last year, but when he was in the slot, it was when he had his best year. Waldron knows how to utilize the slot.
Yeah, good
and
point.
I think that's where Keenan Allen's going to be. So for the most part, I know they're going to line him up some other places, but he'll live in the slot for the most part. So yeah, I do like that a lot.
What's funny is that Lockett to me is more of a DJ Moore type. Like it just I will be very interested to see where Caleb Williams fancies throwing the ball, because I do have a feeling he's going to take more shots, and I wonder if that's going to be the stuff that Keenan Allen's running.
That's true. I just think they're going to give him a couple gimme throws, get that momentum going. But yeah, I mean, to come back to like, it is tough to find any stuff that's interesting for the Bears because there's just so much optimism priced into the market. I don't think they're going to be a complete dog shit where I'm going to look for like some long fades the other way. And even in the fantasy stuff, like, the run, DeAndre Swift. I mean, what are you doing here? They have a bunch of like pretty good skill players.
Swift will be a good prop guy game to game, but he's going to be the same guy he was on the Eagles. He's going to have huge games, and he's going to have games where it's just like, dude, just run through the fucking hole.
He does hesitate a little bit in the hole.
Back to your optimism comment. This kind of is what helped me blow my mind on this one. Bears are +275 or what, 3-1 even to win the division.
Yeah.
They're shorter priced than the Tampa Bay Bucks. To me, that makes no sense. The Bears do not have the same chance or better chance to win their division than the Tampa Bay Bucks. They just don't. And that's the part where it's like the pricing is insane. The spreads even. Yeah. Do I think they should be favored over the Titans? Yes. But we're laying 4.5 with all this question. I mean, honestly, my biggest takeaway from the Bears is I'm going to fade them earlier in the season, and I'm probably going to find myself betting them late in the season because I do think the quarterback's going to be good. It's just not going to be right away. And the offense, the rebuttal to me saying Shane Waldron, whatever it would be, well, Shane Waldron in the last couple of years in Seattle was top half of the leagues in DVOA in offense. And, he had the same type of pieces. Like, it's like the same.
Also too, like if And I think Jay Haas here had a good quote here in the chat. Good quarterback play erases a lot of crap. Team will be competitive every week. Couldn't say that since Cutler. Yeah, I think they're going to be in a ton of games, and I could see them. JMark showed off his Cutler jersey. I could see myself betting them as a dog, or maybe like later on in the season. To Ryan's point, once the market's adjusted a little bit. At the end of the day, he still is a rookie quarterback. I guess I'll be shocked. It's weird. It's one of those things like, yeah, CJ Stroud did it last year. One, very good roster around him. Very good coach in D'Amico Ryans. I think even a more favorable schedule than what the Bears are doing. And it's the outlier, right? Like the expectations were low. This team the expectations are high. So it's tough to find some of the other stuff because the optimism's so baked in there.
Sean, if we might have to do a 32 team quarterback power ranking.
Jay is also saying that Kramer likes Will Levis more than Caleb.
Well,
Williams.
I was trying to think, would Will Levis be above Caleb Williams in my power ranking?
I say long term certainly, but this year,
right now, like the rankings would be the 32 quarterbacks you want that are starting this weekend that you would want starting this weekend.
Yeah, Will Levis is
higher than Caleb Williams
for me. Yeah,
right,
certainly.
We'll have to work on that graphic.
Also, the chat wants to know: did we break down Matt Eberflus' new look? JMark, as a Bears insider, what are we dealing with here?
Yeah, I mean, he basically, they said he didn't look gruff enough, I guess. So his daughter and his wife gave him a little makeover, took him to a guy in Chicago to have his haircut differently. He grew out the beard after the season, and they said, you need to keep that scruff. And it's been like, everybody talks about it every single week in the media about his new look and how he looks so much better in all this. And I don't know. He's had some quotes where he said, I didn't realize I looked that bad to begin with, but
wow. Okay. So clearly I'm looking at him right now. There's nothing. I would say this: planned gruff is not the Midwestern way.
Yeah.
What is he, a model? What is this shit, Sean? He's got some ladies dolling him up. You think Brian Dable's worried about that? He's just wearing the rubber suit, sweating. No need for the makeover though. I'm watching the clip from Hard Knocks about his wife. Like, yeah, he didn't shave for a little while, and I was really liking that beard. They said they called it a glow up. So it's just very weird to be talking Chicago football and glowing up. But here we are. I think that's a negative, right?
No,
no. I mean, like, it's a negative for the head coach of the Chicago Bears to be getting a makeover in Hard Knocks.
Although Ditka had amazing hair, and maybe related, maybe not.
He didn't need help finding it though.
No one was like, Ditka, we need a new look for you. Ditka nailed his look. Ditka came out of the womb with that fucking mustache and hair. He was ready to go. JMark, always appreciate you having you on here. Old fashioned football. Make sure you subscribe to that podcast. Of course, let's close it out with our best bets. Kramer the hater at 7 and 10. I'm 8 and 9. JMark 10 and 7. JMark and I like Cole Kmet higher 3.5 touchdowns. Kramer likes DJ Moore yards. He also thinks Bears last winless team has some value at 45-1. I think Keenan Allen most receptions in the NFC North. Price is not out yet. But if you're getting a decent plus money on it,
strong tout move there. Give out something not available. People get very upset with you.
I mean, no one's gonna be upset. I'm giving you a good angle.
We just came from Bet Bash. I'm just giving you the warnings. I talked to a lot of people about partnerships.
Right. It's the exact opposite. Bet Bash people would love this. They're like, oh, it's a plus EV move, not locking yourself in without being price sensitive. JMark likes the Packers and the Bears to split. At plus 110, he has the exact order of the division: Lions, Green Bay, Chicago, and then the Vikings 6-1. Bears to lose in the wild card round. We'll give you the plus 210 there.
It's a superfecta.
Yes,
that's what it's called. The exact order.
Oh, you're right. One more. After
we got to use the horse.
Yeah,
come on, the horse speak.
And of course, the word for this episode, January. Thank you everyone for tuning in.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
When we return, we will be talking Green Bay Packers. For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
Like a cold January for Bears fans.
Kramer, let it ride.